What's up, y'all? My name is JS Method, or Coach AS, you guys may know me as, and today I want to talk about a concept I call gold gurus. Now, gold gurus are kind of a blanket term I give to analysis provided by underexperienced people, or people who are generally just they don't have the background or the experience to give the analysis and opinions and why it's problematic and why we have to be careful of it, especially when we're trying to improve. So to start by illustrating what gold gurus are, I'm going to start by sharing an experience from my table tennis days. So I used to play table tennis really competitively, and I'd play all the time, and I got very, very high level in my state. And when I would go to the training hall, oftentimes, I would be practicing a drill. I'd be doing drills with my coach or one of my practice partners, or I'd be playing like a practice match and I would be doing something. And on the side, sitting in chairs or in the bleachers or whatever, after games, there would always be, it tends to be like an older gentleman, and they'd come over to you and they'd tell you some advice, and the advice was very, very generic, oftentimes blatantly wrong and not accurate, and it's coming from somebody who never really played the game at a high level. And the danger that these people can do is they can provide incorrect information or incorrect perspective, and these types of people exist in abundance in every kind of competition in life, where they're gonna say, okay, or it's like the guy trying to sell you his course on how to make $1 million, but he's living in his mom's basement with no money to spend. And it's like, that person cannot tell you how to do that thing, especially because they don't have the experience. Now, in my understanding, there are 3 really big problems with this kind of person and this kind of person giving advice. The first problem is what I call perspective. They do not have the perspective of what it actually means to do the thing, or to gain the thing, or to do the thing at a high enough level. They have what they think. They see the outcome. They see a challenger player hitting challenger. They see pro players building certain items. They see certain things happen, but they do not understand the framework that created that outcome. They don't understand the discipline it took. They don't understand the exact reasoning of why it happened. They're just left to guess. They see an outcome, and their perspective, which, by the way, is not the perspective of the pro player. It's a perspective of a gold player, or a player who does not understand that high level perspective. And they're just coming up with whatever reason they can to kind of line up with that outcome. So oftentimes it creates incorrect frameworks. You're going to get hard stuck even by copying the correct outcome if you do not understand the framework of which that outcome was created in. You cannot build correctly if you see that pros always build LDR, but you don't understand when collector is valuable. Because collector is valuable. Occasionally. Sometimes collector is correct, right? But if you're just copying the pros, you're like, oh, they always build LDR. You don't actually understand that in a lot of those games, they're not picking champions that collectors are effective against. They're not playing game paces that collector is effective against. Where in solo queue, the games are ending at 20 minutes anyways. You might as well build collector, especially because they're all building merc treads, right? So there are situations when certain things are correct, but you do not gain that framework if you do not have that perspective. Now, the second problem with these guys is what I like to call skin in the game. And Skin in the Game is actually a book that was recommended to me by Coach Curtis's book club. Phenomenal book club. I recommend you guys look that up. It's ran by Coach Curtis and Nathan Mott, both really high-level coaches and high-level league players. And in this book, the person effectively states that it is unfair for somebody to make a decision. It is unfair, immoral, and not correct for a person to make a major decision without major risk involved, right? So if you are trying to backseat coach somebody, but you have not dedicated anything to the thing that you're coaching in, you've dedicated no time, no discipline, no mental energy, it is immoral for you to tell these people how to play, because you do not actually understand the things that they're going through, and you do not have the same skin in the game that they have. Well, if you don't have the skin in the game, you have no motivation to actually be giving them valuable information. You're just talking to talk, right? Now, the third thing that these people tend to miss is the feeling of what it's actually like to play on stage. The feeling of what it's actually like to play in Diamond. The feeling of what it's actually like to hit Masters and Grandmaster and Challenger. And especially for any of my Diamond Plus clients, we know that the game is mostly decided by feeling at the high level. Once you hit Diamond, once you hit Masters, once you hit Grandmaster, the whole game, like, you know enough about the game. You know how the game works. You can read the stats on the items. You understand what the abilities do. You know what split pushing is. A lot of it is what feels good. They don't understand how it feels to play against a Masters player. Because if you've ever played against a Masters player and they were playing seriously and they were on their champion, it feels like you're just under pressure all the time. You constantly feel pressed down. So you kind of have to like punch back a little bit and you have to kind of feel your way back into the lane. That's something that these people don't understand. They don't understand the immense pressure you're feeling from your lane opponent, the immense pressure you're feeling from your teammates, the pressure from playing on stage, the pressure for playing for money, because they do not have skin in the game. They don't understand how actually important and impactful every one of these decisions are. And they don't understand how impactful these decisions are. And they don't understand the feeling of how that impacts the individual players. How on earth can they give correct advice? So, the whole point of me making this rant style video is that gold gurus are something that are super common in the League of Legends space. They're super common in Discords. They're super common in, improvement orientated subreddits like Summoner School. They're in Twitch chat, for example. I stream a lot over on Twitch. Go check out twitch.tv/JSMethod, by the way. But they're everywhere, and they tend to give inaccurate or incomplete advice. Now, this is not to say, I want to be very careful. This is not to say that just because you are low elo doesn't mean that your opinions aren't valuable, because you can actually add new perspectives. You can say, have you thought of this build? Or have you tried this? But if you are low elo and you don't have the perspective, it's very, very hard to say what that pro is doing is objectively wrong and they should do something else because of this, because there is so much information that you don't even know that you don't know. You don't know what you don't know, and it's so incredibly difficult to deal with this. So this is kind of a ranty video because it's something that everybody deals with, right? Whether you're playing a sport or you're playing League of Legends, you have to deal with it on Reddit, and you kind of have to weed these guys out because their information is damaging and it's actually harmful for your improvement to listen to this. And my biggest issue with it is in my coaching experience, especially in group coaching situations where I'm coaching somebody and then Twitch has their advice, or I'm coaching somebody in a group Discord. It's very common where the gold players will start to coach each other, right? And if you're a gold player yourself, and then a gold guru comes to you to coach you, there is very little progress to be made. Neither of you understand the feeling. He doesn't know what he's talking about, and he doesn't even know that he doesn't know what he's talking about, the gold guru. But you as the gold player don't have the wherewithal to tell that the gold guru doesn't know what he's fucking talking about. So it's something we have to be very, very careful about. And it's something that you want to make sure if you are taking actionable advice, that you're taking it from somebody who has proven themselves as a coach, somebody with a good reputation, somebody who has experienced what it's like to play competitively, somebody with amateur experience, somebody with collegiate experience, somebody who's high elo on the ladder, or somebody with all three of those things, somebody with lots of coaching experience, right? For example, you can see all of my career has been public, and that's what it is, right? If you look at Coach Curtis, he has done the same thing. He actually has professional experience. He was a professional player and a professional head coach in Oceania before the Ocean server was gutted, right? So Curtis is actually, I think, one of the best coaches out there, and we should all strive to be like him, strive to play at his level, strive to coach his level, strive to be as transparent as him. So if you guys are looking for more coaches, and that's something that I wanted to end this video off, there are a list of coaches which are qualified and you guys should go to that I just want to take a second to appreciate and name off really quick. So if you guys are looking for content, I'm just going to write names that come to mind. Coach Curtis, again, he's my favorite. I've actually gotten a lot of coaching from him. This guy is amazing. Nathan Mott works extremely closely with Coach Curtis. He's a jungle coach. He's phenomenal. Then you have like other content creator coaches like LS. I love watching LS. K-Drill, he's another one. I don't even know how you spell K-Drill's name. I get something like this. K-Drill's really, really good. And then there's the coaches I've worked with in the boot camp. All of these guys are incredibly qualified to coach you, right? Like Nice runs it. Like Nice is a good one to watch, especially if you're lower elo. Nice is amazing. And then we have people like Phalaris. We have people like Watley. We have Exothi. And there's so many much more you can guys look up. Just you can look up nice.gg on his site, or look up, come to the discord.gg/bootcamp and you'll see all of the coaches there. And all of these people are extremely qualified and they're good to listen to. And these guys do have the perspective. They do have the skin in the game. They have the risk, and they understand what it feels like. They understand what it feels like to be a low elo player improving. They understand what it feels like to be a competitive player with money on the line. They know what it feels like to hit Masters for the first time. So make sure you guys check these guys out. Be very careful of getting coaching and advice and analysis from a gold guru. This video was a little bit more ranty, but I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you guys check out my Twitch stream and check the description. I always have links and my sponsorship information and everything down there. Make sure you guys check that out. Join our Discord. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.